Well, you know what? Hi, Marcus Johnson, and I'm a lawyer. I am a professor at Howard University. I teach entrepreneurship to non-business majors. I'm an author. I'm an award-winning NAACP Image Award-nominated jazz musician. I own a wine brand called Flow, for the love of, which is part of a bigger company, which is Flow Brands. And most importantly, I am Chase's dad, which I'm getting more and more comfortable with, picking her up from school, play dates and the like, and just being like, hey, Chase's dad. There's no doubt about it. And honestly, people often say that I'm absolutely crazy. They want to know how I do it. But I just say that I'm a guy who's living my flow. Now, Flow, as I mentioned, is this bigger company, and the acronym FLO means for the love of. And for the love of life, for the love of, I have a radio show here that plays on WCLK. So for the love of life, for the love of music, for the love of wine, and for the love of making your day flow just a little bit better. But today we're gonna kind of switch that up a little bit. And it's gonna be just flow, meaning F for fun, L for loving the process, and O, dealing with organizing with others. And I'm probably gonna go off my slides a little bit because I've had some things that have happened very recently where I really wanna spend a lot more time on the fun part of life, fun part of being in business, fun part of being the executives that we are, more so than anything else. And to give you a little context, about a month ago, my mother, who is still recovering, we'll say recovering, but she had a very serious brain aneurysm when I was younger. And about a month ago, my mom fell and fractured her shoulder. Now, generally, my mom is somebody who has fallen down steps. She's fallen through walls. She's fallen up steps. She has literally broken her face. She has really broken her behind. And it's interesting because she always gets back up and runs. So this time she was in a lot of pain. And we took her to the hospital and had, of course, an x-ray, and it came back that she had a fractured shoulder. But my sister, in reading the x-ray, saw an extra mass somewhere near her lung. And it came through the process of the 3 weeks of going to CT scans, going to PET scans, that she has a malignant tumor on the upper right lobe of her lung, or upper lobe of her right lung. So now Monday is the meeting with the thoracic surgeon. Add to that, I was not feeling well because I'm like all of us. My internist says that we do what's called the Washington, D.C. two-step, meaning that we just do too much, and especially she sees a large number of African-American patients. And we are chasing a ghost. If you're not chasing that ghost, let me say it like this. Anybody in here not chasing that ghost? Anybody in here not hear that voice in the back of your head that's telling you these things about yourself? So I went into the doctor and I thought I was having these I didn't know if it was a panic attack. I'm cool with that because my parents are, psychologists. I've been seeing a therapist most of my life. And then I saw my dad, who until he passed was like my best friend. And so I went to called my doctor. My doctor's like, Marcus, go in. Just because you're an African-American male, I want you to go in and I want you to have an EKG. So she said, go to urgent care, it's no biggie. Go to urgent care. Take my EKG and they start moving funny. So one of the things is I'm not the doctor in the family, but my oldest sister is. My brother, she's a pharmacologist. My brother's an OBGYN. Two brother-in-laws, OBGYN and surgeon. My youngest sister is a pulmonologist. So something was going wrong. I'm smart enough to know this. And I'm sitting on the bed, and she's like, it's really weird. Your vital signs are okay. Your blood pressure's great, but you had an infarct on your EKG. So I didn't know what that meant at the time, but of course, I'm like, okay, Google. Help a brother out and tell me that whatever this is that she just told me I had, that this is gonna be a curable, whatever kind of thing. So make matters worse, she's like, so there was something where there was a strain of blood in your heart. So I'm like, is that a nice way of saying that I had a heart attack? So I called my sister up, and she said, they said you had a what? An infarct? Send me your EKG right now. So I'm like, I'm not feeling so good about all this. They let me go. They said, I'm perfect right now, blah, blah, blah. So I go through the process of going to a cardiologist. I take a stress test. And to make a long story short, she's like, well, we gave you another EKG. And you see this right here? That says that you had a heart attack. She said, but you didn't have a heart attack. Sometimes you get misreadings on your EKG with the way it interacts with your body. So we went down a whole another line of things. She's like, so you can rest. But she said, there's something else going on. And I'm like, I know. She's like, well, what is it? I'm like, well, I'm really gonna find out now. And so I've been spending a lot of time over the last week and a half, especially with a 5-year-old who's looking up at me saying, Daddy, is your arm numb? Daddy, are you okay? Daddy, you're not going to heaven like Grandpa Roosevelt, are you? Knowing that she's aware of what's going on because she's around all these people who, we're pretty open with. Her name is Chase. And it really made me think that I can talk to you about all the stuff that is about market segmentation, and I'm not belittling anybody's thing here. You're gonna get a bunch of great advice, great insight, some objective points that you can take back with you. But how many of you all right now are having fun? Cool, raise your hand. All right. And I tell you, in this type of environment, you'll find more people having fun because you're inspired, you're here. And I tell people all the time, there's unmotivated, motivated, and inspired. We can't do anything from from unmotivated to motivated. We can just take motivated people and inspire them and make them super spiritual, right? That's why we're here. But what I find is that there is such a misalignment in what we're doing out here right now. My mom, the one thing she says is, son, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is your life. She's been saying that to me since I was 10, 11. And so we went out, again, we're all successful. My other sister's a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. I have a JD MBA. But I had to look inside a little bit more to say, like, honestly, right now, I might not be all that happy with where I am. And it's probably some of the things and beliefs that I'm telling myself. I have an award-winning wine brand. My music is doing well. Last time I checked, I get about 250,000 spins a week on Pandora. I have tens of thousands of more spins coming in on Spotify. She talked about visibility, right? I was talking to them back at stage. She was like, you can get your this and you can get your that. And I was like, and you can get your flow on, right? So I still got it. But this thing right here, this thing that when I talk to my friends that they're like, yes, I went to Georgetown. Yes, I went to Harvard. Yes, I went to Yale. Yes, I went to Howard. Yes, I'm achieving. Yet when I walk into these rooms, I still feel like an imposter. That's not fun. And it's a psychological thing that's very unique to this kind of dynamic in the room that we have to deal with. It's the mental health. When I talk to Eric, it's the mental health component of what we do here that sometimes we don't deal with. That we don't actually, like, who here did their taxes? Right? Pretty much everybody? You spend a lot of time with them, right? You should have spent a lot of time with her, right? Let me ask a better question. How many of you all have a budget season in your company? An end of fiscal year where you spend a ton of time figuring out where the money's coming from, where it's going. You have quarterly reviews, monthly reviews. Can we all raise our hand on that one? Let me ask you another question. Do you spend the same amount of time with you? The same amount of time that you spend on somebody else's budget, on somebody else's money that's coming in, on somebody else's visibility and vision, do you take the same time for yourself? Because see, here's what I don't want. I don't want you to be the people, and we don't want people out here, so we have to go out and like proselytize this, right? You don't want people who put their dreams under a pillow to go into the bathroom and not look in the mirror. And you know why they don't look in the mirror. To get washed up, get in a car, sit in this god-awful traffic that we have in all these cities right now, to go somewhere they don't want to be, doing something they don't like to do with people that they don't like. Wait, but we're not done yet. To then get back in a car, to get back in this god-awful traffic, to go home, put your key in the door, asking yourself the question, am I about to go in somewhere I don't want to be, doing things I don't want to do with people that I don't like? And I don't even mean anybody else. I'm talking about you yourself. Somewhere in this presentation, I talk about the fact that you need to be the main person and the first person every day when you get up, that you look in the mirror and you're winking at yourself. Because if you aren't winking at yourself, how in the heck can you expect somebody else to? And by chance, if you aren't, then start spending some time writing things down so that you can figure out how to get to a point where you can wink. And I guarantee, if you just try it. You know, Thich Nhat Hanh in The Art of Power talks about mindful breathing. And the idea that breathe in and try it. Breathe out and smile at the same time. And the therapeutic mindfulness that it brings to you, you get a feeling with that, right? So if you start off your day, what's up, MJ? Now, if I can do that, right, rest of the day is kind of, okay, I can make it through the rest of the day. Sometimes I have to go into the bathroom and say, I look at myself, I'm like, dude, are you okay? You just got whooped up in that meeting. You know, or you just killed it in that meeting. And if you're not going like, sometimes, and in our community, we're taught not to do that. Well, you don't want to be boastful and braggadocious, you know, to yourself. I'm telling you, you should be boastful, braggadocious with as much love and support and boosting for you as you can. Because you all, this is society. It may be genetic, you know, they do these biological, anthropological studies, you know, it's genetics in the back of your head and what society is telling you you should and shouldn't do. There's only one person who really knows what you should and shouldn't do, what your purpose truly is, and that should be you. And from a dude who was crazy, who, remember, doctor, MBA, me, lawyer, doctor, I went to music school. You are going to do what? Well, see, I got to get up with me every day, Mom. One day you won't be here. My dad argued me down so bad. One day I was like, and I had a big smile on my face. Son, you need to listen to me and don't listen to what I'm saying. You need to get this, because he actually thought it was a fluke I got into law school. Not that you have to take a test like an LSAT. Oh, how do you get into Georgetown? It doesn't matter, really. You know, I got in, and I'll be there, right? But we made it happen. And look, man, I'm just a little messenger here saying, that it is not your mom's dream. It is not, and at our age, it's not about that, right? It's not even your boss. It's not even your significant other. It's not really even your kids. It is what you wake up with every day that you want to do. And by the way, purpose isn't something that falls out of the sky. Purpose is something that you choose. I'm going to say that one again. Purpose is not something that one day you just happen to meet it. Purpose is something that you wake up and you say, this is what I'm going to try. And then one day your purpose may change. My purpose is to use every butt whooping, I'm not going to cuss in here, that I've had to make sure that each and every one of you and everybody else out there knows to make the choices about the things that they can and to get over as fast as possible those circumstances that happen that were out of your control so that you can make the world better. Because when we talk about flow and it's no W, it's for the love of. It's for the love of you. It's for the love of that choice. And it's for the love of this little thing that we're really scared of called failure. Because I'm going to tell you this. In The Alchemist, the foreword, Paulo Coelho talks about the idea that people come to him all the time and say, yo, look, is failure necessary? And he says that failure, whether it's necessary or not, doesn't matter. It is inevitable. Understanding that, the whole idea is that it's about resiliency. Getting back up, they said falling 7 times, getting back up 8. I say falling down, I'm at 9,997, and I'm gonna get up this 909,098th time and welcome the rest. Do your flow. Align your values. Write them down next to your calendar to make sure that your daily activities line up with your, well, I'm in the spirituality and into my family and everything else like that, but your calendar says you're into work. Because if you don't do your flow, there's no hope for us. And think of a world where people choose their purpose every day to get up, to wink, to enjoy traffic, reading a book, listening to one, going places they like to go, knowing that it may be difficult, but they do it anyway because it's their choice. To come back home with smiles on your faces most of the time. To get back up and do it again and again, taking care of you. We have a problem with our stress. It's killing us. Make the choice to live your flow for the love of you. Thank you very much.